What's on Your Mind is sponsored by ACMC 339.0, New Star Radio 98.7 FM, Breakthrough Studios, and Reggae Jam.
Good afternoon. How you doing? Welcome to another program in the series of What's on Your Mind. My name is Carl. The program is produced by Breakthrough TV. So let me ask you, how you doing? Wow, what a week it's been. So much been happening. Thank you for tuning into the program. Let me tell you before I go on, this is a live stream. We're coming to you directly live, yeah? So don't forget to press the subscribe button, yeah? Got a wonderful program lined up for you this afternoon. Also got a very, very special guest in the studio with me this afternoon. And we say, welcome, GT Haynes. How are you?
Oh, I'm great.
You're great.
Yeah, I'm fantastic.
Let me say welcome to Breakthrough TV.
Well, Breakthrough TV, I'm here. Ready for you.
So how you doing?
Ready for you.
So how you doing?
I'm great,
What
man.
you been up to?
Oh, goodness me. Too much.
To us. Tell us a little bit, for those of you who have never seen you, because I know you're on the you're on the music, aren't you? So,
Definitely,
and
yeah.
when you're on the music behind the scenes, we don't ever see you. So tell us a little bit about what you do and who you are, really.
Well, I'm Grantley GT Haynes.
Yes.
And for my sins, I've managed a number of reggae artists.
Mm-hmm.
And those artists, artists such as Pato Banton, 13 years, Tipperary,
Yeah.
12 years, Peter Spence,
Marvelous.
another 12 years. I've managed Sandra Cross, worked with Peter Honeygale, Maxi Priest, UB40, Steel Pulse,
Wow.
worked with those guys. And it's been a great life. I've had a great life. I'm also somebody who is within the treatment field. I'm talking about substance misuse treatment.
Okay.
And I've worked in that field for the best part of 14 years, 15 years.
Marvelous.
And still continuing. As a substance misuse specialist, I was one of the first people to set up the first crack and cocaine treatment team in Birmingham,
Marvelous.
starting off in 1998.
Yeah.
And carried on.
Yeah.
I was served at the NTA
Yeah.
as a treatment specialist.
Serious.
Yeah, as a NED, non-executive director for 8 years. I served there,
Wow.
and a number of different roles I've had. So I've got a number of qualifications that span from bachelor in philosophy, masters in criminology, and an MBA. So those have what given me my knowledge and my experience, as well as coming from two great parents.
Two great parents.
And having sisters.
You've been a busy man. Were your parents from this country, or was you born in this country?
Yes, I was born here.
You was born in the UK. Where your parents hail from?
My parents are from Barbados.
Okay, marvelous.
Yeah.
Marvelous. Well,
St. James and St. Michael.
Oh, fantastic. That's brilliant. So, thank you for that. As you know.
And I've got my own record label,
Yes.
GT Records.
My boys Beaters.
Yeah, My Boys Beats is our production company,
Yeah.
which we've worked with,
Tremendous
who's
amount
who,
of the who is who of music.
a tremendous amount. We've also got a young people's arm,
Yeah.
young people's leg that we work with young people.
Yeah.
And under the banner of Wheeler Street, the Wheeler Street.
I know Wheeler Street very well, yeah.
Yeah. So we work with them under that. And we do performing arts, musicals, records, and so on.
Marvelous. So you are what I do a radio program, and I have a feature on it called Giant of Music. And you are what I call my Giant of Music.
Well, I'm pleased to be referred as such.
Because those of you who see my program, guys, I have a feature every Thursday which I call my Giant of Music, and I featured different artists from the UK. You know what I mean? So they could be producers, they could be stars, they could, you know what I mean? They could be the who of who's music, also musicians as well. So you're my Giants of Music, Nick.
Yeah, well, thanks. I'm honoured.
Marvelous, marvelous. Anyway, GT, let me leave you a little bit, right? Because I got a few things. I got to look at of what's happening around the world, and from my sort of view of what is happening around the world. So, this week, guys, around the world, there was a fire in London this week. I think it started about over the weekend, and it was actually a very terrible fire. 125 firefighters were sent to the incident, you know what I mean? I think there was 15 fire engines. Luckily, there was nobody hurt. I think there was 60 people that was evacuated, and that was in Whitechapel in London. So we're glad nothing serious has happened, you know what I mean? And it's one of them ones that other you can see other things are hitting the headlines, but that fire never sort of really hit the headlines. And we're glad nobody was injured in that fire, you know what I mean? And it actually went off pretty well. The trouble is, I honestly wonder why they still make those buildings so high, because they're so high and they're so difficult, you know, for the fire service to actually get to when certain things is happening, yeah? So let me move on. Now, as you know, the biggest headlines in the news is the invasion of the Ukraine. There's 2 million refugees on the move from the Ukraine, and there's different countries sort of talking about where they're gonna go, or what should happen, or you know what I mean. And we don't know what's gonna happen with all these refugees and the invasion that Russia's, you know, what the Russians is doing in Ukraine. And all the Prime Minister of the UK, the President of the America, all trying to talk and trying to get together. We hope they can come to some positive outlook, because we don't need another World War III, do we? We don't need another World War III, definitely not. So I hope things can get sorted out there pretty easily. My next story actually is concerning the same sort of incident that is happening in Ukraine. Now, a Nigerian young lady, she's a student. Her name is Emma Beth Hobby, and says she had to fight on a train to get out of Ukraine because of the racial discrimination that she came across. And she says she's also worried about Africans who are left in the Ukraine and the sort of racial prejudice they're actually going through. And we know this can happen, and we see this can happen, because this is not the only story that we've actually seen since the troubles have started there, you know. And as I say, everybody's got a right to live, so I don't see why they should be actually discriminating against these refugees as well when they're trying to get out of the country. So we hope things will get a little bit. I know people's going to say to me, oh, it's a war and this kind of thing happening in the war, but somehow, you know, I think we moved, over the years, we move further in the future. So this sort of thing should still not be happening. And as I say, she says she's quite worried about different African people who's actually stuck and left there in the Ukraine. Yeah. Now, my next story, I'm very, very concerned about it as well. Regard to Sasha Johnson. Now, Sasha Johnson family has made an appeal, and they have actually released a photograph of Sasha Johnson, of how she is now. And it's not the Sasha Johnson we know. And they've made an appeal for witnesses to come forward after the case had collapsed in the court, you know what I mean? And we hope that some witness can come forward and help the family to find some form of justice of what has happened to Sasha Johnson. And she's been like that from last year, and she hasn't recovered, you know what I mean? And they say, when you see her, she your heart goes out, you know, to her and her family. And we hope she actually recovers very soon, and we wish she recovers very soon. I know a lot of people, guys out there, praying for her. And keep praying and helping that she can get a lot better. And until about 2 weeks ago, nobody was actually mentioning Sasha Johnson. And I said this before in one of our television program. We've been asking what's happening to Sasha Johnson after she's had the shooting in her head, you know what I mean? And I said 4 men was actually released, as I say, case collapse. And we've been asking what's happening. And I say the family is now left with the only sort of alternative is to put a photograph of Sasha Johnson out to say, well, look what's happened to Sasha Johnson. We really need your help. And I hope you guys who know something can actually help in this sort of situation, yeah? And I say we wish her all the best and speedy recovery, yeah? Now, go to Manchester. In Manchester, police actually locked down part of the city because of a man, he was stabbed. And they say the traffic was disrupted. Pedestrian wasn't allowed to go where they wanted to go. And the whole street came to a lockdown. Public transport was also locked down. And that was all because there's been a serious stabbing of a 30-year-old man in Manchester. And also, the thing about stabbing, you see, every week we see this on our city streets. Every week there's something stabbing. From Birmingham to London to Manchester, all over the place. We see this on a regular occasion. And I don't want to keep saying this because people say, oh, you're always concentrated on the negative instead of the positive. But this is something that actually keeps happening all the time across our streets. Yes, GT. And there's no sort of answer to it. He's shaking his head. But I'm going to come up to you.
Well, I think these things have been happening for years.
Yeah.
And what it's going to take to prevent it happening is for the community to see it as an issue that they need to comment on and to have a forum whereby, because these things just don't happen, you see these things taking shape where there might be an argument on the street. There might be somebody being run down on the street and chased. And then it gets to the point where stabbings start to happen. What we need to do is we need to take into account the issues of the community members that are concerned about things happening, whereby they're concerned about the issues, not just the stabbing, but the issues that come before the stabbing happens. Like arguments, like people saying, I'm going to get this person, or I've got an issue against that guy, or an issue against that girl, or an issue against that man. So we need to look at those things and we need to nip them in the bud before they get to stabbings or shootings.
What about the influence? Because certain things can influence that sort of crime anyhow. I mean, most of the time, sometimes I'll talk about not music, the lyrics in music.
You think so?
Yeah, because lyrics in music will influence you to do different things, don't you?
Well, have you ever been influenced by lyrics?
Not all of us, but some of us mind aren't very strong, are we? We are not all the same.
Well, I look at young people and I look at people in general, and I say that all people are pretty intelligent.
Yeah. Okay, let me sling this way.
So if you're going to be influenced by what somebody says, then what are you really influenced by? It's not the music.
Is it?
Is it? Then it could be the lyrics.
That's what I said, the lyrics in the music.
Okay.
That's important, yeah.
So some of us are influenced by Boris Johnson.
Yes.
Some of us are influenced by Keir Starmer. Some of us are influenced by the issues that are taking place in Ukraine without fully understanding where those issues started.
Good
so
points.
You've got to look at the whole picture from a standpoint of understanding what took place before the crucial moment.
I wasn't totally saying all the whole music, I was just saying those influences. One of the things people always say to me, music or lyrics doesn't influence violence, and I think it does. And the only reason why I say that, or you get some influence from it, is the classic I always look at, and this is in a positive sense. In a positive way. The classic I always look at, I'm black and I'm proud. Now, a lot of people listen to those songs by James Brown, and it was a positive image and their kind of take. So when people say to me, music or lyrics, not music, lyrics doesn't influence, what some people think. The classic is I'm black and I'm proud. Because a lot of people at that particular time who wasn't feeling that gravity of being, the positive of enforcing themselves as being so-called black and proud. When James Brown come out, when artists like that, not just James Brown, when an artist like that comes out with lyrics like that, people sort of embrace it more. So that's why I say lyrics in music has an influence. Whether it be good lyrics or violent lyrics, it does influence. And I think because of sometimes we also have copycat syndromes, people will always take the negative out of music and use it.
I hear you, but I disagree.
You disagree?
Yeah, because I would say that people were proud of James Brown and what he was doing.
Yes.
But I don't think that everybody that heard James Brown say I was black and I'm proud, that they were proud of being black. Because coming up in school, I certainly wasn't proud of being black.
Serious?
No,
Okay.
because there was so much racism that I encountered when I was at school and as a young person, that I felt there was something wrong with being black.
Okay.
I felt that the fact that you're black and receiving this negative image and these negative connotations and this spitefulness and this wickedness and sometimes violence at the hands of the BNP and so forth, I certainly wasn't proud of that. I was proud of Muhammad Ali. I was proud of Martin Luther King. I was certainly proud of Marcus Garvey people like Malcolm X. But I wasn't proud as a black individual until I started to succeed as my peers were succeeding.
Marvelous. That's brilliant. Is that because of living here though? I mean, take for instance, for me it's a different scenario because I wasn't actually, I spent most of my early years in the Caribbean.
Well, there you go.
So is it because of where you were? You see what I'm saying? The environment you was in.
Well, I would say so because if you're living in a concrete jungle, say, or you're living in Ukraine right now, you're going to witness and you're going to experience pain and violence and fear like you've never seen before. That's what we were experiencing here, or that's what I was experiencing.
That's what you was experiencing, yeah.
I'm not gonna pretend that I was experiencing all great things because I wasn't. The reason why I went to school and studied was because my father said, in order to get out of being nobody, of being nothing, of being broke, you need to learn at school. I'm sending you to school, to learn.
To learn. And it's very good that is because now we hit upon something very interesting. Because I said that most of my early days was spent in Jamaica. Now, when I grew up in Jamaica, I wasn't black, I wasn't white, I was pink. I was a Jamaican. I'm not saying there's not prejudice that goes on in Jamaica, because there is, because different shade of your skin. But I never sort of have it enforced onto me. I know who I was. I know my descendants from Africa and the whole mix-up. We came out of all different people, as we say in Jamaica. But I always see myself as a Jamaican, so I was always a Jamaican. Not until I came to, I know it was there, you know what I mean? What we call the black thing or whatever. I know it was there, but not until I actually came to the UK, then I actually see it from a different perspective.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Right. That is very profound and interesting.
Yeah.
But let me tell you something else now. Have you ever been called black or, nigger or? I have been.
I told you earlier when I was telling you earlier when I went to a football match.
And when did you receive that?
And I've seen it in my early work in life.
In Jamaica?
No, when I started working here.
You've never been called black in Jamaica?
Not
or blackie? Well, guess what?
No, I've never been called that.
I've been called blackie from the first day I went to school.
Serious?
Till almost the day I left school.
You was called that.
And guess what? Here's something else.
Yeah.
I was called blackie by black people.
Well, I see that because I heard that since I moved here. You know what I mean? So I've heard that since I moved. I've heard that since I moved here. Yeah. But as I say.
So there you get.
Yeah.
What Asians would call the caste system.
Yeah.
So the fight or the struggle that somebody has based upon the color of their skin or the shade of their skin or any other element that somebody can use to put you down, that's the things that people experience here.
Yeah. I think my first racial abuse that I actually I used to see it I never see it at college, but I see it in the workplace, you know what I mean? Because I got involved in a field that very, very few what I call Nubian people was involved in. That's my professional and my professional at that particular time. Then very few Nubian people was in that professional. So when
What
I got
was
it,
that?
when I got into that professional,
What was that?
I'm a jeweler.
Okay.
So there were very few people in that business at that particular time, and then when I got into that, you know what I mean, there was, like I said, what I call mainly Caucasian people that was in that. So it was a very something. So but I started seeing that, and I think one of the first time I actually see sort of real races. I recall going to a football match. I told you this. I went to a football match in the very early days with at Aston Villa, and my friend who had born in this country says, "Carl, let's go to a football match, man. Let's go to this football match." I said, "I've never been to a football match, so this is the first time I'm going to a football match." Aston Villa wasn't very far from where I was actually living, so we went down there. And we went down there and we were supporting the Aston Villa. I know people say the games have changed over the years, but this is what it done to me. It damaged me. It literally damaged me. It literally damaged me because we were sitting in the Villa, supporting the Villa. Villa was playing Arsenal at the time. I remember it was not like nobody's business. And all of a sudden, the Villa fans start singing, "We hate you, you do. We hate you." Well, rather than saying we was using the area, they was literally saying, "We hate you niggas, we do." Yeah, I've said it. We hate you. And that was a big sound. We hate you niggas, we do. We hate you niggas, we do. And I said to my friend Junior, you know, we need to get out of here. And we slowly crept out of there. And that was it. And what it did to me, it left me loving the game. I love the game. No matter what team it is, I love the game. I used to be support Aston Villa. I used to support Liverpool. I'm still a Liverpool supporter. But it left me traumatized. And I've never, ever gone back to the game. And people have said to me over the year, "Oh, the game has changed, man. The game has changed. The game has changed." And you know what? When I see, okay, everybody said the game has changed. And I do understand that movement has come. You know what I mean? But when I do see the game, and I see like England player getting racial abuse, like in the World Cup.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or even when they travel abroad and they get in the race, it brings that painful memory back.
Yeah.
It does bring that painful memory back.
So you can understand that it takes the individual themselves on a journey to actually overcome the barriers of such prejudice or races.
I know. I got to move on, GT.
Yeah.
My next story. Now, Jamaican Minister for Foreign Affairs, and he has recommended that Jamaican in the diaspora register with the countries where they're in with their diaspora, and it says it will save a lot of trouble because a lot of Ukraine student from Jamaica, 20 students actually, was trying to get out of Ukraine, and they had a lot of problems. So what they say then, a lot of Jamaicans living overseas should actually register with the diaspora of Jamaica. All Jamaicans overseas must register with the diaspora, so it makes life a lot easier for them when they do that. You know what I mean? So and I could actually understand what they're saying. Yeah. Let me move on to sports now. Sports, your favorites. Your favorite. Oh, I'm not supposed to laugh.
I think you should laugh as hard as you can. I really do.
Yeah. Just before I go to sports, there's a lady that I need to say big congratulations to, which is actually Paulette Hamilton.
Ah, congratulations,
Paulette Hamilton has become the first.
You're a hero.
Paulette Hamilton has actually become the first MP for Erdington. And we wish her every success. And she had made history by being the first, I'm going to say, British African Caribbean descendants lady. She makes history there by being the first. And we say big congratulations to Paulette. And that's marvelous. I know it's going to be hard work because a lot of people is going to have expectations. You know what that's like. Don't you? A lot of people, not only from our own people, but from other people. I got to say that. We're going to have expectations. So we know it's going to be hard work. So let me say a big congratulations. And we know you'll be able to hold it together. Big shout out to the hot man. So
we just need to support Paulette.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Because she's going to need a lot of support.
She will do. Yeah, she will do. Absolutely.
And if we're behind her,
That's right.
she'll be able
Yeah.
to prevail.
And I should say she was sworn in on Monday, this
Yeah.
Monday, you know what I mean? So we say big congratulations to her. Marvelous. Yeah. Now let me move on to sports now. As I was saying, sports. Man City beat Man United in the local derby.
Did they?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, where was you? Where was you? You wasn't in the country.
No, I know
City-
that Manchester City
Man,
won.
Man City, I should have laughed.
It was 4-1.
It was 4-1, isn't it? And you're a
Manchester United
a
fan.
big Manchester United fan.
Yeah, I was very pleased with them first half.
Is it?
I think if they'd kept that up, had it not been for the break, the health break,
Yeah, it would have been something there.
they might have done differently. But when you get coaches like, as decorated as Pep Guardiola,
Yeah.
ushering his team and giving them an idea that they need to play a different way, I think that was the turning point.
Okay. I'm sure they'll,
That was the turning
that
point.
was a turning point, yeah. It's one of them ones, isn't it?
I think Manchester United need to play as a
Yeah.
as a team.
Yeah. And the two guys that are bringing didn't they didn't sort of do anything, innit? What was it, two guys? Was it Rashford and the other one? They didn't do very well. Anyway, my time is going, so let me move on. Women's World Cup cricket. Now, the ICC. The West Indian women actually beat New Zealand. And it was a very close match because they win by 259s. And it was a 50-over match with 50 overs. And they beat New Zealand by 3 runs. And I got to say, Hayley Matthews, you see the lady with the bats? My days. Hayley Matthews, she scored 100, absolutely fantastic. You know what I mean? And, I say women's cricket is doing very, very well. And it's coming on very, very good. So we say big congratulations to the West Indies. And as I say, Hayley Matthews, I got to say, is my favorite in that team. I see, I could change my mind though if she scores 0 next time.
Nah, I wouldn't change my mind.
I know she's a fantastic player.
One of the things about cricket.
I'm just joking, B. Yeah.
Cricket is a West Indian game.
Yeah.
And the beauty of cricket is that in the 1960s or 50s, when there was the move, when people emigrated from the West Indies to England, right, that was what they held on to.
Held on to, yeah. Tied into it. Yeah.
That gave them a sense of pride and a sense of union.
Yeah.
So that brought us together.
Totally.
The West Indian cricket team.
And it was a great help for the what you call the Windrush generation.
Well, that's right.
Yeah. Great
So
generation.
that whole,
togetherness.
well, not just togetherness and the fact that we were showing that we were good at something.
That's right. Fantastic.
Other than just to be here, working in factories and so on.
That's right, yeah. Have you played the game?
Yeah, my dad taught me how to bowl. I ended up bowling for my school team.
Yeah, fast bowler, spin bowler, what bowler?
Fast bowling.
Fast bowler.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you used to run. How's your arms these days?
Pardon?
How's your arms these days?
Oh, fine.
The files. So
Yeah.
it's because a lot of bowlers says it affects the arm over the years.
Yeah.
I wasn't that good. I love the game, but I wasn't a big cricketer because I remember quickly. I remember playing the game when I was very young, and we had a bowler, and the mere look of the bowler, when they come on, intimidation. The mere look of the bowler and the intimidation front you, so you have to run out of the way.
Yeah, I heard some of the English batsmen talking about Malcolm Marshall.
Malcolm Marshall, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Oh, I know.
Joel Garner.
Joel Garner, the sort of coming out, the frightened face that they put on you.
The Whispering Death. Yeah. Michael Holding.
Yeah, I know. Let me move on to entertainment. Now, wow. Denroy Morgan has died. Denroy Morgan is the father of Morgan Heritage. And as I say, he died at the age of 76. And we say big condolence to his family. He's actually has 30 children. And he actually has 100 and 20 grandchildren. So that funeral will be a very, very big funeral. He died in Atlanta, and we say big condolence to his family and all his friends and all his fans, because, as I say, his family has created some great music, and I think he had a hit in the 1981 in the big charts. I think it's called "Do Anything for You." I'll do anything for you. So he had that big hit some time ago. So we say, and he taught his children, to take the music where, it should go or where it's necessary. And we say he was a big influence. So we say big condolence to his family and rest in peace, sir. Marvelous. Another icon has gone. Yeah. Now, Bill Cosby. As you know, Bill Cosby was in a lot of trouble. And the Supreme Court has actually rejected an appeal for him to be retried again. So, as I say, that's not going to happen. They've been trying to appeal it after the allegation that he was, it was found, he was let off with them. Let's say let off with in plain language. And some people has been trying to appeal that again, but it's not going to happen. So the appeal court has actually rejected that. Yeah, so it's one of them ones. Now, my next story is now, good girl gone bad. Now, Rihanna, they say good girl gone bad. Rihanna has hit back at critics of the way she came out as she was at a fashion show. And she came out looking the way she does, sort of literally exposing herself. And she's pregnant with a big baby bum. So, and I don't know why she's actually doing this. I know you could say it's for fashion or whatever, but I don't know why she's actually doing this. I'm not criticizing her too deeply, because I heard different side of the story. And it says, people says, oh, when you see a Nubian lady looking like this, you hit out on her, and yet when you see another lady from another race, you don't hit out on her. You know what I mean? So I could say something. But the trouble for Rihanna, I feel, is that because she's the national hero of Barbados, I don't actually think it's a good idea to sort of just like that when you're pregnant. I mean, he looks at me. A lot of people could have very, very different views. And I know it was a fashion, but even though it's fashion, what it actually does for me, it's influenced a lot of young people, because a lot of young people looked up to Rihanna, you know what I mean? And you know what I mean? Hey, put it this down. If you see somebody like that on your street, walking down your street, what would you say? What would you think? You know what I mean? You think they lost their head. So I think it's probably, maybe, I want to be delicate, because why I'm being delicate as well, I'm a big, big Rihanna fan. I love her music. I play her music all the time. So I have to go easy. you know the ways. I have to go easy. What do you think?
What do I think?
What do you think? Come on, give me what you think.
I think Rihanna's fantastic.
I do think she's fantastic.
And I think power to Rihanna.
Power to Rihanna.
Yeah,
Yes.
I really do. I think that Rihanna, the world has changed in terms of how women see themselves.
Yes, and I'm not.
How women. Oh, I'm not disputing what you're disputing. No. I'm just saying how the world has changed.
Mm-hmm.
It is now fashionable for women to show their baby bumps.
Okay.
Madonna's done it.
Kim Kardashian?
Yes, Kim Kardashian's done it. Every woman that's in the public eye
in entertainment
has done it.
Yeah.
But Rihanna has done it in fashion. She's made a fashion statement with it. Because Rihanna has got a clothing line.
Yes.
That
she's promoting.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So why not be the first to do that?
I'll take that point.
Right? Why not be the first to do that? Because if you would take a photograph showing your baby bump,
yes,
right? Why not add and make a fashion statement out of it.
Yeah, but she's not just showing her Barbie down. She's literally showing a G-string there as well, ain't she?
Well,
Right down to the hole, you know what I mean?
well, definitely.
You know what I mean? Right,
But
in everything, anyway, really, she's literally showing everything, isn't it?
well, I don't think she's showing everything.
Well,
I think she's there's when you go on the beach, you see women dressing like that.
But-
Don't
but-
you? When
yeah,
you see them walking through the hotels like that.
yeah, but we're not all on the beach every day, are we? And you just, you
No,
know,
people take
but
photographs.
you know,
like
you know, you're on holiday, they let you.
I don't think it matters
You don't-
where it is.
You don't think it matters?
I think it does matter where it is to a certain degree, but this is at a fashion show.
Okay.
This is a fashion show which is about lingerie and about, you know, how a woman can celebrate the fact that she's pregnant. And I feel that Rihanna has got the right to do
To do
whatever
it.
she wants with
Because
her body.
because she's promoting something.
No, because she wants to do it.
What about critics? Because there's been a lot of critics about this. I'm not sure.
I'm-
What about critics? Oh, Rihanna, I think you should put your clothes on. I think it's not the way you should dress when you're just having a baby.
I understand that. I understand it,
I mean-
I think that argument, to a certain extent, has its place.
Yeah.
But if her partner is happy with that, Rihanna's happy with that, and the people that she's presenting the fashion with are happy with that, then and the photographers and the videographers are happy with that.
You say carry on, Rihanna.
Well, I think that Rihanna's setting a benchmark.
Okay.
She's saying that when I've gone, you're going to remember me.
What about in 30, 25 years' time? She look at it and says, oh my God, why did I do that?
I think she'll know why she did it.
Yeah.
It's for her to explain to her children,
To her children.
or the
Yeah,
or the
or-
child that she's got in her stomach right now. It's for her to explain that to them.
Okay.
Just like your mother explained to you why she probably hit you when she was growing up.
We all. She never explained it, but I know why.
I know, but she might do that now.
No, she wouldn't. She wouldn't. I don't think.
Well, my mum said
Did
to
she?
me why she hit me.
No, what?
She said she didn't want me doing the things that I was doing at the time.
No, but at that age, if you get hit, you know why? Because you probably do something naughty and you need the
There you
discipline.
go.
So there was no need to sort of explain it to you later on, is there?
No, but explaining it to me later on gave me the context.
And you have a very, very good mother. My grandmother, not my mother. I gotta say, my mother my mother never hit me very well, very badly. You know, my mother was very good. She just gave me the look, you know, the look.
Yeah.
My grandmother was a totally different person. You know, I mean, she used to butter me, and a lot of people used to say I was bad, but I was never bad. Look at me. Can you imagine me being bad?
Well, we all can say that.
Can you imagine me being bad? I was never bad. I think what happened with her, she was more protective than anything. You know what I mean? I think that probably why I looked at it and people say different things, and even members of my family will say different things. I think it was just looking at it from something else.
She definitely had her way of controlling you or stopping you from doing things that she didn't want you to do.
Yeah.
And that was her way.
Yeah. Let me move on. Yes, so we talk about the war. Now, the war. Now, next month is a war. Now, is there a nuclear war brewing up? We see all the troubles in Ukraine, and we see different people asking for different things. The Ukraine, the Polish has offered American fighter jets to go into Ukraine. However, the President of the United States has refused. Is there a war brewing up? Are we heading for World War III? And this thing been going on for a very long time. I mean, like we say, the trouble between NATO and Russia has been going on for a very long time. Only because they haven't come together and go, boo, or shoot each other or something like that, face to face. They may do it in different countries or supporting different organizations or supporting different countries from different angles or different bits aside over the years. But we haven't seen them come together directly, which is what we call shooting at each other. So you could say, some expert has said the World War III has already started a long, long time ago. We had cyber attacks and all the sort of different things. Both countries watching each other and doing strange things to each other. But are we heading to what we call the final countdown now, or the final showdown of what is happening? GT, that is a tough one, isn't it?
A tough one to
Answer. Is it a tough one?
No, I don't think so.
What's your view on this then?
My view is it starts with this. What is Russia's point? What do they want and why do they want it? And what is Ukraine's point?
Yeah.
What do they want and why do they want it?
Well, I was actually looking at a program last night, and so a lady was actually explaining this. And what she says, after they set up NATO, with all these different countries getting together, yeah, all these sort of what we call Western countries would join NATO, so they'll be protected.
Yeah.
What you had then is the Warsaw Pact, yeah, which was the Russian side, and they had all these different countries that set up on the Warsaw Pact as well. Some of those countries left and went independent. And I think after there's a statement that there's something about when after 1945, NATO actually signed an agreement with Russia. Some people has denied it, but they say the paperwork is there. I mean, even the president of the United States have denied this, but the paperwork is there. NATO actually signed an agreement with Russia, saying that and when they came out of Germany, when the wall came down, so they said they wouldn't move any further east towards Russia. That was the agreement. Well, I think NATO actually, I'm not blaming the NATO, I'm just telling you what is there. So NATO actually showed that up, and they said they would actually start. NATO actually said there was disembark all the countries that wasn't signed up to them. So but NATO never did that. But the Ukraine, they sort of disembarked all their countries, you know what I mean, with what was the Warsaw Pact. So NATO never do that. So, and the agreement that they had was that, say, Russia says you can't come any further east towards us because we feel threatened. So when they decide to go into Ukraine, and I think that's why Russia has actually gone. It's devastated what they've done, but that's why Russia has actually moved closer, or trying to take over Ukraine again. And Ukraine wants to join NATO as well, isn't it? And he also wants to be a part of the NATO agreement as well, and the NATO pact. And I think that's how it was explained to me last night by a well-known correspondent on one of the big networks.
Okay, so Russia's saying that NATO agreed not to come any further east
Yes.
than it had done in 1945.
After the Berlin Wall went down.
Well,
which further on? Yeah. Come on.
1990 something.
Yes, come on.
80
Yeah,
something.
yeah, that's an agreement. Yeah.
Okay. So if that was an agreement,
Yeah.
and that now didn't happen or it's changed,
Yeah.
then first we got to ask ourselves, why did it change? Yeah.
Yeah. As I say, NATO has
Now,
that. Sorry, carry on.
if
You finish.
it changed when NATO said that they wouldn't extend east any further than at that point, we got to look at what would NATO do, or what did NATO do prior if Russia did the same thing. Well, I remember the Bay of Pigs.
Yeah. Cuba.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Kennedy said to Khrushchev,
You can't come any further.
you come any further and there's
It's
going to be
trouble.
war.
Yeah.
So I think if that's the case, which I'm not sure if that's the case, but if that's the case, and you and I have an agreement, don't cross that wooden plinth there, and you cross it, then you can't expect that I'm going to do nothing.
Because, as I
I
said,
might not do anything, but you can't expect
as I said,
that I'm not going to do anything.
as I said on the report,
So there is going to be a consequence.
as I said last week, as the report I checked, because the lady was explaining, she said there's two sides to the story, but a lot of people don't seem to see this side. And don't get me wrong, I think Russia is doing terrible thing, and whatever they're doing, they should be not doing it. But Russia has been saying we are You're coming too close to our border after we had that agreement. And also the United States have actually denied that this agreement was made. But the paperwork is there. They insist that the paperwork is there. It was made.
So I'm not sure because I haven't seen
Yeah,
paperwork or I don't know. But I'm saying, on a general basis, if I say don't cross my path, and you agree that you're not going to pass it, and you pass it, what is your expectation? That I do nothing or I take you to court? Or Russia's saying that if you cross my path, that's an act of war.
You've come too close to us.
So I'm gonna make sure that you don't cross that.
I said they're both as bad as each other. You know what I mean? Basically.
I don't know. War is so complex.
There seems to both as you know.
War is so complex that I can't really state anything to the contrary of what's the current case. But what I can say is that it's very difficult because it's complex. But all I want to see is peace.
Yeah. And you see the other thing as well.
That's what I want.
Yeah, we all want that. And the other thing as well, you see, Ukraine wants NATO membership. But if you look where Ukraine is, how close it is to Russia, Russia opposed that as well. You see what I'm saying? It's like what you just repeat to me. It's like we're the Bay of Pigs in here. You see what I'm saying? So they wanted NATO membership, and Ukraine wanted NATO membership, and Russia said, "Well, you're too close to have membership after the agreement that we sort of made," and that is how the problem. You know what I mean? A lot of people are not talking about it, but that is probably one of the main cause of the problem.
So how do you think the problem is going to be solved?
I don't know because these guys.
Is it going to be solved with war?
I think
can it be solved?
I think it's going to go on for a long, long time.
Or can it be solved with diplomacy and tact?
Most likely. The other thing as well, you see, nobody has gone in there. Away from Russia doing what he's doing, right? And they're having, you know what I mean, they're getting weapons from, you know what I mean, from a couple of countries from the EU to fight in there. Nobody has gone in there yet. You know what I mean? I mean, they're sending, you know, armor in there. But nobody has gone in there now. Now, you know, America, America is not the kind of guy that to sit back and wait. He goes. America hasn't gone in there. So he's well aware, of the situation and what's going on there.
Well, what we can say is that nobody has gone in there other than Ukraine and Russia fighting over Ukraine.
Over Ukraine, yeah.
And they've been very clear to say that there's going to be no no-fly zone.
Yeah.
So, is it going to continue as a war, or can it be solved via diplomacy and tact?
Haven't got a clue.
If it's going to be solved through diplomacy and tact, it needs somebody that can mediate.
Yes.
And that both sides respect.
Yes, that's right.
So it comes down to that.
It is, and it's as I say, it's a very, very complex situation, man. But because you have China now, you don't know which side China is gonna land on. You don't know which side China is gonna fall on. You got Tehran, Iran.
Well, we're thinking of too many different things.
You don't know what side they're gonna fall on.
When we start talking about, we don't know what China's gonna do. We don't know what Iran's gonna do. We're really talking about too many different variables.
Yes.
What we need to do, or what Russia needs to do, alongside Ukraine, is to live with what's currently happening
peacefully
and respond to that.
That's right.
Do you want to continue the war?
Yeah.
Or shall we sit down
and have a talk
and sort this out?
And work something out. You're totally right. Totally right.
Because everybody's got an opinion.
Yes. Totally.
You know, nobody's children deserve to die.
No, of course not.
That's horrific.
Horrific. It's
Nobody,
terrible. It's terrible.
no adults deserve to die.
No.
Nobody deserves to lose their home and their livelihoods.
And their livelihood. And on the march, and you know what I mean, as refugees trying to run out from bombs and all that sort of stuff. You know what I mean? It's disgusting.
But that's the collateral damage of war, isn't it?
It is. It is. It is.
So if we want to stop the collateral damage, we have to be big people, and we have to say, okay, enough is enough. This is only going to lead to more bloodshed. This is only going to lead to more catastrophic, degradation of our land
and people.
And we don't want that. So we're going to move on, and we need to settle this.
Maybe Ukraine has to want what Russia wants. I don't know.
Well, I think the way you form an agreement is you start with what you want. Because unless both parties get what they want, or some of what they want,
it's not going to happen, is it?
There's going to be war.
There's going to be war, yeah. There's going to be war. And they've got big weapons. Disgusting.
Well, it's going to carry on.
Yeah.
And sooner or later, it will expand.
I know. GT, tell us some of the services that you're in, and tell us a little bit more about what you do.
Well, as I said, I work with young people. I'm a producer, and I'm a record label. And what I do is I service all of those three areas. So with being a record label, I put out records and I promote them and market them. As a producer, My Boys Beats, what I do is I record artists, I make the beats, and I put the two together.
Okay.
We collaborate together and we make a song.
Okay.
And GT Records promotes and markets it. With the young people, what we do, we develop young people from dancing, from singing, from acting, and we put on musicals that promote them over all. So the holistic view of a young person.
Wow,
so the fact that they can act, the fact that they can sing, the fact that they can dance, the fact that they can deliver spoken word, the fact that they can get together and be runners, they can be producers, they can be artists, developments, they can do makeup and so on and so forth.
Great, fantastic. You know, it's gone so quick, my time is almost here. Let me say, thank you for coming to Breakthrough TV. It's been marvelous having you. I know we're going to have you, but there's a lot more we could go on about, couldn't we?
Well, definitely. I mean, there's always not one, not two, many sides to a story. And in order to reach a consensus, you need to listen.
That's right.
A lot of people don't listen.
Yeah. It's been great having you. Thank you for... I know you're busy, man. Let me say thank you for coming to Breakthrough TV and giving us your story.
Always.
Maximum respect.
Anytime.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Carl.
Thank you.
Nice to do this.
Thank you. Cheers.
Yeah.
There you have it, guys. The time has gone so quickly this afternoon. I can't believe it. Let me say thank all you guys who've been watching the program. Let me say thanks GT as well for being such a special guest and share his views, wonderful views. Don't forget, we'll catch us back here with another program next week at the same time. Let me say thank everybody for watching. And let me say thanks to my good friend Errol. How you doing, Errol? I hope all is well with you and your family. Big shout out to you and everybody who's watched the program. And don't forget to press the button and subscribe to the program. Let me say thank you very much. My time is almost here. Thanks to my producer as well. Big shout out to you, sir.
Yeah, producer was really good.
Producer was really good. Let me say maximum respect. Thank you.
Very helpful.
Have a great week and look after yourself. We'll be back here next week. God bless. Bye. My time is here.
On Your Mind is sponsored by ACMC 339.0, New Style Radio 98.7 FM, Breakthrough Studios, and Reggae Jam Jam.
Planning an event? Do it professionally. Please contact Breakthrough Event Management Team and get everything under one roof for both indoor and outdoor occasions, birthday parties, bridal and baby showers, anniversaries, funerals, backyard BBQs and more. We offer a video and photography service, marquees, decoration and a PA system to hire, with popular New Style Radio DJs spinning old and new school hits. Please contact 07584 197 380 and book all your catering needs with Reggae Jam Jam catering service on 0787 244 3765. And remember, do it good and done.